I read a couple of pages of Fountainhead here.
अच्छा wow.
The beginning. I was looking at it critically as a writer now, not as a content, not as a book. And seemingly it flows. Seemingly, like, we don't realize it. We don't realize anything because it's so well written here. We only focus on that emotion aspect. There is no jarring, there is no break. We don't need to step back and think, acha, ye bhi hai kya, waisa hai kya. We don't need to do any conscious thinking. If you read the Fountainhead, only those 2-3 pages I read, there's no need for any stepping back into that conscious mode here. It's like almost like you just immerse yourself in that subconscious here, and he takes you to that journey. Totally subconsciousness. देख अभी मूवी चल रहा है, फिर वापस एक goes backslash आता है, and it kind of gives you a joke, and then you go into that conscious mode and try to figure out अच्छा ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, ऐसा ये है, उसका पुराना ये हुआ था, फिर इसकी वजह से ये हुआ था. You stop being an audience then, and you kind of there's like a switch off mode, like that emotional. But I just read the first 4 pages there, and there's no, like, she's actually building the context. She's actually telling you things about the situation. But she tells you in a way that there's no disruption. How would be a disruption, I tell you? Like, suppose the author started, Howard Roark was an architect who has been studying this institute for so many years. And then suddenly, but he was an architect who used to come up with very, sensational stuff, or very innovative stuff, which was not this. Now, this is a disruption here. This is like something you cannot relate to emotionally here. You have to consciously just accept it. And most authors do that. Like, they'll actually sit and they'll start describing it. If you notice, this is like that there's an emotional thing here. Like Howard Roark ka ek life story hai. And you're immersed in that. And he entangles the context. He'll also convey to you that he was an architect, that he has been expelled from the institute, he has been studying here, he has been living here for 3 years. How the place is, that Mrs. Keating, and how does she build the character of Howard Roark by Mrs. Keating as a contrast. See, there's one line there which says that Mrs. Keating always felt that Howard Roark would smash all her pots and everything in the house. He always was scared of him. Like, this guy he's a maniac and he'll destroy my house. So this is actually, he's talking about Mrs. Keating's reaction to Howard Roark. And she's actually building that character of Howard Roark in your mind by that. By showing the thought process of other people around him. वो Howard Roark का कुछ बोल नहीं रही है रे. Yeah, Howard Roark was a very great, eccentric guy, and the society would see that eccentric and they would get scared of him, and they would think that, so that would be a jarring, and that would be a disruption. But a character thinking and feeling is not disruption here. You're actually into the story here. You're into the character. Mrs. Keating ऐसी है और वो देख ऐसा सोच रही है. Howard Roark ऐसा करेगा. But Howard Roark is indifferent. He's not even looking at it. So there's no disruption at all here. Like, this is a master storytelling here. I've never seen anybody do this. I mean, Victor Hugo was great. I'll have to actually read him also. But this is like, and also at some level maybe somebody might have done it, but to get to that people issue, abhi dekh na Mrs. Keating's reaction to Howard Roark. There's a big 2-3 paras on that, how Mrs. Keating views Howard Roark, and how she speaks to him because of that, and what she tells him, and how she compares him to her son. The whole evaluation of Howard Roark is built by Mrs. Keating. Superb, huh? She never used those words, actually. Howard Roark was a great guy. But she's used these elements here to build the character, I mean, and to also get to the minds of people, not just, तेरा वो people issue है, that whole psychology, how parasites will think, and how parasites will evaluate. And also how to show that parasites are not in reality also. Keep that context also. So the reader is not misled, It's not like that Mrs. Keating becomes a heroine then. And yet not talk anything negative about Mrs. Keating also. Like, she never said anything bad about her in the way, like, she was a bad person. While if you see these other authors, they tell you, yeah, Mrs. Keating was not a person of sound character, and she never really wanted to do anything in life, you know. She was one of those who would just gossip and, you know, would whatever. Again, disruption, yeah. Oh, you're not involved in that here. Consciously, तेरे को लेना पड़ेगा. It's not a work of art. मैं just दो तीन पेज पढ़ा and मैं just सोच रहा हूँ कि इसका क्या है, like, you know, what is the thing, like. And that's why people only react emotionally to a novel. I don't think it should not be loved. But if you ask me, like, what is the thing that, you know, really, whatever, yes, in terms of that art, like, what is it that really struck you or strike you? And you won't be able to pinpoint, like, something, yeah, there. It's a whole total integration of emotion there, like, it's not just about showing that one character, yeah, but the way to build it up, like, see, it has a bigger impact. I don't know why. Because of Mrs. Keating saying this, yeah, he thought that he, you know, smash all the, he's got some designer vases and some, you know, artifacts and all in the house. And he said that this guy will, you know, so that he'll smash everything to pieces. So, that has a bigger impact than her saying that he's an eccentric or conventionally he looked as an eccentric or whatever. So, no? And also her describing Mrs. Keating here. That somehow it does convey that she's not in reality. By her emotional this here, that she said this, but she actually meant this, you know. She would have actually tried to say this, but she's saying this, like, you know. She said this, but in the tone, like, he said no, but the tone was in the yes. Like, you know? Now she's again describing it. She's not making a comment on this, but she's just giving the reality of it. Yeah. So that reality of that situation is enough, yeah, for the reader to, you know, the subconscious to absorb. Yeah. Like she puts on that act of being, you know, feeling sorry for Howard Roark when he comes. And she puts that appropriate expression on her face. She makes her face, she changes her face when she saw Howard Roark coming in. Or into that appropriate attitude, and she changed the expression and tried to sound apologetic. This thing, you know. And she wanted to see Howard Roark broken, like, you know, when she said that, or then she said that the dean has called you, and then she wanted Howard Roark to see Howard Roark being broken, yeah, to cry, or, you know, wanted some emotion from Howard Roark, yeah, something to show that he's suffering, yeah. You know, some anger, something. This is what she wanted to see Howard Roark's frustration and this. And this is like he doesn't even remember who the dean is. So she wanted that. So she's saying all her mental negative characters. She said this, but she expected this to happen. She wanted him to suffer. So this builds the reality much more, yeah, than anything. You're putting on an act of being nice to someone, and then you want to see that person broken. And then you yourself are like, you know, not in reality. Like she's got those pudgy arms and, you know, fat arms and legs, and she's totally like there's that whole attitude is like that. So, like she's a master storyteller, yeah. मानना पड़ेगा. ये इतना impact नहीं आता है कोई normal writer अगर करता था. I don't think anybody understands this.
It would work at a subconscious level.
Consciously nobody can even identify this, and they don't even realize it. Why people are impacted? I mean, the whole world either hates and then or loves her. Like hates Fountain Head or loves it. Yeah. Why? I mean, it's not just there's the idea there. It's not just the philosophy. People take it so personally. Yeah. I mean, you know, they are criticizing her even after she's dead, yeah, and they're, you know, making stories of her. And I mean, एक बार आदमी मर जाता है, you just let it go, ना. ऐसे क्यों बुरा कुछ बोलने का? I mean, मर गई. But ये लोग अभी भी लगे हुए हैं, अभी भी डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज बना रहे हैं उसके खिलाफ. As though she's alive and she's hurting them, yeah, अभी भी वो उसको comment कर रही है सबको. And she's really a master storyteller, I must say, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. I'm a bit odd. Maybe there are others also have done this, but he's done it on that parasite valuer level, yeah, which I don't think anybody has done it. People have done it, but not on this level. They're not showing a Mrs. Keating character. I mean, what kind of a person she is, and then her reaction to a great guy and how that would, pan out and all that. ये पूरा level पे कोई नहीं गया है. So, I mean, at whatever level she did that people issue, उसने वो people issue करके वो Fountainhead लिखा है. इसलिए उसका impact है. I mean,